This video shows how to create custom fields and columns in Deskera CRM. Log into Deskera CRM as an administrator. For demonstration purposes, I will use the Accounts module for the entirety of this video, although the procedure is the same for other CRM modules as long as they contain the Manage Columns button. Here are all the existing columns. Notice that when I'm adding a record, each data entry field corresponds to a column, which means columns and fields are one and the same. Click the Manage Columns button, highlight Manage Column, and click Add Custom Column. Under Column Header, specify the name of the new field. This can always be renamed later. Next, you choose the field type. I shall choose the drop-down field type because its settings are not as self-explanatory as other types. Under Max Length, we must specify the maximum number of characters that each drop-down choice is allowed to contain. If there are one or more drop-down options, whereby you want your user to upload documented proof whenever they select those drop-down options, then under Validation Type, you choose Document. Here we define each drop-down option. Separate each option with a semicolon and do not exceed the maximum length specified above for each option. If one or more of the drop-down options needs to be validated by documented proof as mentioned earlier, then suffix it with a caret symbol before the next semicolon. If you make the field mandatory by clicking Is Mandatory, you will then need to specify a default value. All existing records created prior to this field will be given this default value so as to not become invalid. New records being created will have this default value auto-populate the field. If one of the drop-down options requires that someone receives an email notification whenever a record gets created using that option, click Configure Notification. You'll then be presented with a pop-up where you specify which drop-down option it is, who receives the email notification, and the content of the email. At this point in time, we are creating this field for the Accounts module, but you can also co-create this field in other modules by ticking their checkboxes here. Click Add New Column. Any newly created column will appear at the rightmost edge of this grid. You can reposition the new column by dragging and dropping it wherever you want to. Alternatively, go to Manage Columns, highlight Manage Column Order, click Reorder Columns, and then move the columns up or down by clicking these arrows. When done, click Save Column Sequence. You can edit an existing custom column by selecting it and then go to Manage Columns, highlight Manage Column, and click Edit Custom Column. As you can see, editing a custom column is nearly the same as creating it. However, if you want to make basic edits to multiple columns in one go, including system default columns, you go to Manage Columns, highlight Manage Column, and click Customize Header. Here you can only change the column header, whether or not the field is mandatory, and set several permissions regarding who can edit or view the column. And that's how you can create custom fields and columns in Deskera CRM. Thanks for watching.